Hey y'all, welcome back to Bowls with the Bard. My name is Cakes, I am your host. I am stupid excited for today's episode because today we are doing something a little different. Today, we will be exploring my Animal Crossing island called StratAvon. A little man named Shakespeare will be giving us a tour. He'll show us the houses and the island that are home to some of his best and least known characters. But before we do that, as always, we're gonna get a little high. Welcome to StratAvon. This is Shakespeare. This is his completely Shakespeare-themed town, complete with characters from his plays and references to other plays. I am so excited to share this island with y'all. Let's get started. So, first of all, this is Shakespeare's house. We will not be going inside because it's not done. Hopefully I will have another episode someday where maybe I have a few new characters, a few new updates to show you, and when that happens, hopefully the house will be done too, so we can all explore the inside. But for now, we are just gonna go ahead and explore the town. So let's go. All right. Behind Shakespeare's house, we've got a little extension of the town. You know, a little pumpkin patch. He shares his vegetables with all of the townspeople. And then we've got a nice little park for the townspeople to relax in, maybe play chess, and just spend some time with each other. Now, on the other side of that, we've got our museum. We've got some famous artwork skirting the museum. Some of it may or may not have existed yet in Shakespeare's time, but we don't need to worry about that so much now, do we? Here is our town square. This is where our villagers can sell their baked goods, their jewelry, any handmade crafts they may have made, and of course, the all-important wooden duck. Now, our first stop here is to Miranda's island. Miranda is from The Tempest. I believe that she would be pretty content with a simple life, so she's just got this little island life. She's got a little beach house, and I think she's pretty happy with a nice little view. I think she's hiding behind her house right here. Oh, there she is. Hi, Miranda. It's nice to see you. She's the cutest little duck. She's Prospero's daughter. We love her, don't we? You know it. And now we are going to move into the heavier hitters of StratAvon. I'm talking the wealthy citizens. So here we have Portia's house. It looks like Portia isn't home right now, but Portia is a lovely Dalmatian. Maybe we'll see her elsewhere on the island. Now, if some of you don't know, Portia is from the Merchant of Venice. She has a very wealthy father, hence the money trees growing in her backyard. But her father passed before the time of the play, and he left behind a test for any of her romantic suitors, and they had to pass it, or else they could neither pursue Portia anymore, nor pursue anybody else for marriage anymore. And so I decided in Portia's backyard, we would mimic that test. You've got the silver, the gold, and the lead chest, and her suitors would have to choose between those three to win her hand in marriage. Of course, as an extension of her backyard, we also have a nice hearth, some beautiful artwork, and just in general, it is a beautiful backyard that you would love to spend your time in. Now, to the other side, the other wealthy members of StratAvon. Here we have Tybalt's estate. If you've ever seen a production of Romeo and Juliet, it is very likely that the costumer and the set designer all tried to indicate the rivalry of the Montague and Capulet families with bright contrasting colors such as reds and blues. So in my version of StratAvon, I picture Tybalt and the Capulet family have this nice bright red color to represent their family. Now, behind Tybalt's estate, we have another reference to Romeo and Juliet. Here, we have Friar Lawrence's chapel. This is where I imagine Romeo and Juliet would have been married and where they would have come to receive advice from the friar. Next door to Tybalt, we have another hard hitter of Shakespeare's canon, another rather wealthy character. It is Olivia from Twelfth Night. So I imagine she has a beautiful rose garden. I imagine she can pay for some nice statues. And, of course, in reference to Olivia's plight, Olivia has just lost her brother and her father. So behind her house, we've got this graveyard where she can go every day to visit and mourn her loved ones. All right. And now we head to the more abstract parts of our islands, the places where we may have to travel a little farther to go. Welcome to Rome, home of Julius Caesar. Hi, Caesar. We're so happy to see you. So, as you can tell, Caesar is the great ruler of Rome. He is the tits. So Caesar gets this gorgeous golden rose garden. He's got this beautiful pool in his backyard. And of course, for when he needs to meet with the people of Rome, he has his fantastic golden throne. All right, we are now at Pericles Cove. Pericles Cove is where Marina lives. If you're not familiar with the story of Pericles, Pericles spends pretty much his entire play on crazy sea voyages, hopping from place to place to place, getting involved in zany adventures, and in the process, he has to leave his daughter behind with the king and queen. She ends up having her own zany adventures, and I would like to believe that when she got older, she followed in her father's footsteps, and she went on crazy adventures and collected all sorts of treasures from around the world. So, this is Pericles Cove, named aptly after her father. So she's collected Easter Island heads. Here is her gorgeous ship, complete with a cannon and a hula girl at the top of the ship. She's collected a sphinx. She has collected busts and swords from all over. She somehow managed to get pagodas, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and Stonehenge onto her ship, and even some pyramids. But what is most close to her heart is this treasure that she keeps nice and close to her home so she doesn't lose it. For those of you who have not seen her, Marina in Animal Crossing is an adorable pink octopus. We'll go say hello. There she is, complete in one of her Elizabethan outfits, though I will say the pirate outfit I gave her is my favorite outfit for her. And would you look at that, there's a Jaques over here too, so we'll go and we'll say hi to Jaques. He's wearing one of my favorite outfits that I have given him. Jaques is from As You Like It. He loves to wax poetic. He's very, very melodramatic. And so, I feel like this matches. I feel like it goes pretty well with that character. As you all know, when Macbeth embarks on his adventure, he runs into 3 creepy, crawly witches. So here I have designed where the witches might meet. We have their infamous cauldron, we've got some jack-o'-lanterns, some hay, and the pale white carriage I imagined that they would get themselves around in. And of course, some creepy, crawly blood leading into this lake. Who knows what that has to do with? It's just pretty creepy. And would you look at that? I see myself a Phoebe, which is the perfect transition to where we're going next. The Forest of Arden. Phoebe is another character in As You Like It. She is very spunky, as is Phoebe in Animal Crossing. She is my favorite character in Animal Crossing. Maybe not my favorite character in Shakespeare, but that's okay. We love her anyway. Alright, and now we are heading out of the Forest of Scotland and heading to the Forest of Arden. I imagined Arden was a place with lots and lots of mushrooms. Here is Phoebe's house, and of course this adorable little mushroom picnic set. But my favorite feature of the Forest of Arden are these little trees with the notes in them. If you don't know the story of As You Like It, in As You Like It, Rosalind ends up in the Forest of Arden, and her love, Orlando, also ends up in the Forest of Arden and writes lots and lots of poems and love songs that he sticks to the trees in hopes that he might find and woo his Rosalind. And so, in that style, Throughout the Forest of Arden, we have these trees with the love notes stuck to them. And once you get to the back of Arden, you will find Jaques' home, where he lives tucked away in silence, away from all of those rabble-rousers who also live in the Forest of Arden. Now, atop the Forest of Arden, in the highest place in all of StratAvon, you have the Castle Elsinore. This is where Hamlet resides. Of course, here you can find Ophelia's grave, in addition to his father Hamlet's grave. Back here, we have a portrait that is memorializing Ophelia and her tragic, tragic death. Here is Hamlet's estate, nice and grand, and of course, here we have a theme of black because Hamlet is vivi goth, vivi depressed, and he needs everybody to know it. Now, on the other side of the Forest of Arden, we have the Forest of Athens. This is probably my favorite transition in all of StratAvon. You go from the earthy, mushroom tones of the Forest of Arden to the magical, starry tones of the Forest of Athens. Here is where those lovers, Helena, Hermia, Demetrius, and Lysander, made their adventure through the forest and may have run into some magical zaniness on the way. Part of that magic happened to be Mr. Puck. I imagine Puck would have the coolest backyard in all of StratAvon, so he's got a nice little bar, he's got a nice ice table where his friends can gather and hang out, and he's got a nice reference to Winter's Tale here with this ice sculpture bear, which you may exit pursued by. Of course, no Forest of Athens would be complete without the famous purple flower that caused all the zaniness in the forest during A Midsummer Night's Dream. And, most importantly, we have our beautiful fairy bower where the queen, Titania, would rest and get her sleep among the stars and among the fairies. And now I only have 1.5-ish little places left to show you on the island of StratAvon, though it's my favorite part, and I think probably what Shakespeare would think is the most important part. So let's go. Shakespeare's town could not be complete without the famous theater that made him famous in the first place. Here we have the Globe. As you can see, Richard III is playing this week. You can cross the bridge, enter. Here's where the groundlings would stand. You can look up, see a show. Right now there are some costumes on display. And of course, up top, you've got the orchestra, just like you would have in the actual Globe Theater. Then, of course, if you crawl on over, what theater would be complete without a dressing room for the actors to get ready, get dressed, undressed in? And lastly, but certainly not leastly, the actors have to have somewhere to go after the show, so we have the Boar's Head Tavern. This is where I imagine Falstaff and his gang would get rowdy and we would have a great time. And that, my friends, is the town of StratAvon. This is where Shakespeare lives. This is where I've planted some of his most famous and least favorite characters. And y'all, I have had such a blast creating this island, and I'm so excited to share it with you. I hope you love it as much as I do. And if you have any ideas, thoughts, suggestions about how I could make it better, how I could make it more Shakespeare themed, please drop your ideas in the comments. I'm so excited to hear what you have to say. And of course, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, if I have new villagers move in and when I finish the inside of Shakespeare's house, we will do another episode like this, and I can't wait to share that with you too. I am so excited to be back. I plan on being more consistent with Bowls with the Bard in the upcoming year. If you want to be on the show, please, please, please send me an email to bowlswiththebard@gmail.com. I would love to have you on. I'm so excited to talk to more people this year. And that is Bowls with the Bard, y'all. I'll see you next time. Bye.